What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Today, we're going to go over all three of the new build and price tools that Chevy just put out. So we're going to talk about the differences in the Stingray Builder, the differences in the Z06 Builder, and of course, the differences and pricing in the ERAY Builder. Let's jump right into it. And for those of you who haven't seen the price increases yet, here they are on the GM Authority website and actually broken down pretty cleanly. If we scroll down, it will show you all of the price differences between the 2023 and 2024 models, from the Stingray 1LT all the way up to the Z06 3LZ, and of course, all of the price increases over on the right-hand side are just the increases in general between the two model years. Now, if you look at the highest one here, it's actually a Z06 1LZ, a $3,000 price difference. Now, you are going to see the ERAY in there because there is a $200 destination fee change. So the ERAY price was already announced for the 2024 model years, so nothing as far as the price of that has changed except for the destination charge. So there's an additional $200 for that car, and the rest of the prices there, you can see everything has gone up. The 1LT and 1LZ version of the cars have gone up the most because they are all including the new safety features as well as the camera rear view mirror option. So standard now on a 1LZ car is that camera mirror. So it's not going to be an option any longer. And of course, that does add some additional cost to the car. Now, moving on from that, we're going to start with the Stingray Builder. Like I said, obviously we already have our price here. This is up at the top. You can see the 2024 Corvette Stingray Builder. We can select coupe, and we're going to run through some of the new options here real quick for you guys. So we'll do a 3LT. It doesn't really matter here. We've already talked about the price increases. We do have some new colors, obviously. So for 2024, we have the new cacti green, which is available for the Stingray, Z06, or ERAY. We also have the Riptide blue, of course, Z06, ERAY, or Stingray. And then scrolling down all the way to the bottom, we do have the Seawolf gray, which is really awesome. I'm happy to see this color because I really want to see this color in person to see if it's worth it. Now, what's really interesting to me, it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see, but on the Builder, we can actually see in the front driver's side radiator area, the additional radiator that runs up and down that we've only seen on the ERAY so far. So I'm not sure if that's something specific to the ERAY or if it's something moving over to the Stingray now to provide extra cooling for possibly oil temperatures or even transmission temperatures, but it is definitely there. It's definitely visible in that driver's side front radiator grill area. Anyway, moving on, we do have some new top stripes and graphics. These are all the ones you can get now. Some of these are new over the 2023 offerings. This one right here with the carbon flash and the red accent, and the same with the fender stripes and graphics. We get this one here, the carbon flash metallic with tech bronze accent. So some new offerings for the vinyl guys as well. Moving on, we have the new wheel for the Stingray. So everything else here is pretty much the same. And now new for 2024 are these wheels here, the 5 split spoke satin graphite. And of course, if we scroll down a little bit further, we have another new wheel, and that is the 15 spoke bright polished aluminum wheels. Now, this looks like these are going to take over for the Trident wheels where they're only available as an accessory option. They are also forged, and you either love them or you hate them. I'm not really a big fan, but I'll leave it up to you guys because it does look like you're not able to get these wheels by themselves on the car. It does look like they are an accessory. So these will be something that you will buy the car with a specific set of wheels, and you'll also get these ones with it, just like the Trident wheels were. Moving on to the interior, not much here is different other than when we come down to the seatbelt color area, because in here, we have a new option for a green seatbelt cover. We've always had the orange, the natural, the tension blue, the torch red, and the yellow, but now there is a green seatbelt color offering. And sure enough, as soon as we check that green seatbelt, it does force us to add the Artemis interior. So the green seatbelt will go with that Artemis interior color, which will probably go with the cacti color on the outside as well. Moving on to the packages, there's not a whole lot new here either. You want the Z51 or Stingray R or any of that stuff there, I, of course, would select the Z51 package. There's not a whole lot different on the exterior options either, except for the engine lighting being separate now. So you can select this for $100 and get the engine lighting without the carbon fiber dress-up parts. Scrolling down even further, of course, we do have our option for the 6.2 liter engine cover in edge red or in sterling silver. Now, if we hit the information button here with it. It's going to talk to us a little bit about the fact that it enhances the mid-engine with a stylish upgrade, features a grained insert with embossed Corvette lettering, one-piece engine cover, provides insulation while protecting from dirt and debris, and features the Cross Flags logo. Now, it doesn't say that it doesn't include that see-through engine cover. So it looks like when you select this option for $495, you're getting the painted engine cover in sterling silver and the see-through cover for the convertible. So it's all in one. There is no separate option you have to check for that. And that's really awesome. So that is basically a free quote unquote upgrade. And scrolling down a little bit more, we're going to see the next upcharge, and that is, of course, the Corvette Museum delivery actually went up 50%. So it's 2 times as expensive as it was last year. Moving down a little bit more, we do have no picture, but we're going to be able to see it at the end, for the visible carbon fiber 2-stanchion spoiler genuine Corvette accessory. Now, this thing is super freaking expensive. I've mentioned in the previous videos that I had hoped it wasn't going to look like the Z06 wing, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So I went ahead and added it. Of course, you can see here there's just a Chevy logo. It's not showing us a preview of it, but we are going to get to see it in a second. Under the mechanical options, the only thing new I'm noticing here looks like the engine cross brace in visible carbon fiber with the Jake logo. That looks like it is new. I have not seen that in the past, but that is something that was supposed to be available in 2023, so I'm not sure if it ever actually made it to the builder or not, but either way, it's here now. If we go to the interior options, it doesn't look like we have a whole lot new here either, so we still have the stealth interior options, of course, carbon fiber trim, but no carbon fiber level 2, which GM told us initially was going to be an option for all of the C8 Corvettes, but it seems like now they might be keeping that just to the Z06 and ERAY. But over on the far right, we do have the visible carbon fiber sill plates that we talked about a little bit. This is something, again, that's not pictured, but we might be able to see at the end when we go through all of the images of the car we just built. Scrolling down a little bit more, we'll go under radio. And of course, this is another one where it says what we had talked about in the past, that is that the new infotainment system is now coming with built-in Google compatibility. We're not really sure exactly what that means yet, but it is something different than what we have currently. So next we're going to hit summary, and we're going to be able to see some of our pictures here. So if we select the actual image, we'll pop it up into fuller size. Here you can really see that radiator again up in the front driver's side radiator grill intake area, where it looks like the additional radiator that was placed in the E-Ray, but it's on the Stingray this time. So who knows what that's all about. But if we look at the back here, you can clearly see that 2-post or 2-stanchion carbon fiber spoiler for the Stingray. It is very similar looking to the Z06 wing, but it's smaller. It doesn't stand up off the car as much, and it looks like the Z51 wing in the middle. So that's where it attaches and then puts out the 2 wings on the side that looks more like the Z06 style wing, but it is still not exactly the same. I feel like it's different looking enough that people aren't going to confuse this with the Z07. But other than that, that's pretty much the only differences with the 2024 model year Stingray. Now, of course, they do come with all of the new changes, which are very safety oriented, and those have all kind of been detailed here on the mid-engine Corvette. This particular thread goes on to say about why they believe the 2024 pricing is worth it. So obviously we get the new colors, but we also get that automatic emergency braking, the front pedestrian and bicyclist braking, the lane keep assist with lane departure warning, the following distance indicator, forward collision alert, and not even mentioned here is, of course, that front trunk automatic pull down. There are a lot of reasons for the price increase outside of just inflation. There are a lot of new features available on the car as well. But anyway, moving on to the Z06, this is where things get really interesting, because if we go to build and price a 2024 Corvette Z06, guess what? There's no pricing available. It wants you to see the dealership for pricing. Now, this is just really, this ends up blowing my mind, because there's only one reason I can see that they would do this, and it's because they know these dealers are going to continue to charge well over MSRP for this car, and so they're just not even going to throw a price on the website. There is literally not any pricing on this website at all. You have to contact the dealership for the price of your brand new built Z06. Now again, on the builder here, if we zoom in on that front driver's side radiator area, we do see that additional radiator again peeking through there, even on the Z06. So something is different, unless they just use the stock image across the board for that radiator area, something is different because this car is not supposed to have that additional cooling there unless they change something to add more cooling. So again, something I noticed no one else was talking about, it's there. Now, outside of that, there really isn't a lot of new things for the Z06 that I noticed. Other than your typical stripes and things that were available on the Stingray as well. And of course the new colors and everything. But outside of that, nothing that I saw here stood out to me as specifically new for the Z06. Other than maybe the visible carbon fiber intake trim, which is a genuine Corvette accessories. I don't believe that was offered in 2023, and actually it was not. So this was specific to 2024. The side intake or the boomerangs on the side of the car that bring in the air for the engine is now available in carbon fiber directly from GM. The Corvette engine build experience is listed on here. Now, I have heard that this is probably not going to be something that's going to actually come to fruition, but it does look like they're adding it on here. So as of right now, it's listed on here as an option. But if you were to build your 2024 today with this, odds are very good it's going to be on constraint. I have heard from multiple people that this is something that is very unlikely to actually see the light of day anytime soon. So I have a feeling that option is going to get kind of X'd pretty quick. But for now, it's nice to see it on there, because I would really have liked to have done that. The engine intake in red is now listed on the site. It popped up towards the end of 2023 on the builder as well, but it is still listed here. Under the exterior options for the Z06, we do have the LT6 engine cover in visible carbon fiber is finally showing up here on the builder. But again, I've heard that that's going to be on constraint. So that might be a little bit tough to get, but it's nice to see it's finally on the builder here. So it is going to be an option at some point in 2024, which is awesome. Now, one thing I'm noticing very obviously missing here from the builder is the ability to give the Z06 convertible the engine appearance package. So no clear cover to show off that red engine intake or anything as far as the engine dress up of the Z06 when you select the convertible option. Now with the ERAY and the Stingray, we do get that option. You can now select it so there is a clear cover over top of the engine that will give you access to seeing the painted engine covers, but it is not on here for the Z06. Now, moving over to the ERAY, this is where things get interesting because you can actually now price this car. So before, we kind of knew the price of the car, but that was pretty much it. So if we go through and actually build a car like we would actually want, I would do a 3LZ, of course. Now, just so you guys know, I'm not getting an ERAY, I'm still getting a Z06, but if I were to get an ERAY, this is how I would build it. And again, on the ERAY, that driver's side front radiator still showing that additional cooler, but we have always seen that on the ERAY, just never before on the Z06 or Stingray. So we'll select black, go through all the options here, exactly how I would build this car if it were mine. Visible carbon fiber wheels, why not? And of course, red brake calipers. So interesting, when I choose the wheel here, they're not actually changing on the screen, but it is selecting it. It is adding it to the price, but it's not changing the look on the screen. So let's scroll down, go into the interior. We would keep black interior. We would also go with the competition sport bucket seats with, of course, the red seatbelt colors. We'd leave the steering wheel alone. Go to the next packages here. ZER performance package indeed ended up being $500. That was a leaked rumor about 2 weeks ago, and it is in fact accurate. So $500 for that performance package. Then we'll go ahead and hit next for options. And here's where we can actually select the carbon flash exterior accents. So if you don't want that body colored, you can select that and have that added. And it looks like there is no cost for that. So that is interesting. Let's go ahead and select it. Yep, it did not change the cost of the car. So if you want the carbon flash, it is actually free, which is really interesting because that was not how that was rumored to be initially. Again, we got the engine lighting separate from the engine dress up carbon fiber parts. Scrolling down, we get the engine cover in edge red or sterling silver for your convertible option, which is pretty cool. Again, your coupe engine appearance package is an additional $895 if you want that carbon fiber as well. Museum delivery, again, showing twice as much as it used to. You do have the option for visible carbon fiber ground effects, but I don't see anything here that would give you the option for the large Z07 wing or the Z07 dive planes for the front end. So that is going to be something that's specific to the Z06, which is pretty cool. They do actually have the visible carbon fiber high wing from the base C8 Corvette available for the ERAY, though. That's interesting. I wonder how that's going to work out considering the rear end of this car is still going to be wider. Going down to mechanical options, there is nothing new here. So we'll go to next to summary. And yeah, so this car comes out to be a good bit cheaper than the Z06 for me. Even with the carbon fiber wheels, this car is $130, whereas my Z06 without carbon fiber wheels was around $146. So definitely significantly cheaper to get an E-Ray. That's what my car would look like if I were to get an E-Ray. But guys, I wanted to just kind of go through these different builders with you, show you the differences in the cars, the prices on the ones that are available. Like I said, no price available on the 24 Z06. If they want you to contact your dealer, which of course is going to be an absolute horrible experience because these dealerships are all charging over MSRP. I'm curious to see what their justification is for that. Another thing I've noticed, like I said, all three of these cars, the Stingray, E-Ray, and Z06, all have an additional radiator up front. I'm curious to see what that means, whether or not that's adding extra cooling for the transmission or oil or whatever it may be. It's interesting to see that they're making a change like that and not talking about it. But that's pretty much it, guys. So if you liked what you saw, please smash that thumbs up button. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Leave them in the comment section down below. This new build offering here is definitely raising a lot of questions from as far as I'm concerned. So if you feel the same way, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm going to have loads of content like this coming and my Z06 coming soon that you're not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.